I grew up on a cattle ranch and a wheat farm in southeastern Colorado, and I busted steers. I broke broncos. I wrestled cows. I cut cows. I doctored cows. I lassoed cows. I rode horses. I led sheep. I raised pigs. I did all these things that I don't do today. And for good reason. I hated it. I grew up as a farmer and a rancher, knowing full well that I was not meant to be a farmer and a rancher. Full respect for everyone that is a farmer and a rancher. It is the hard work. And when I was 18 years old, I knew that I needed to go to college. And my wife and I started watching Yellowstone and binge watching Yellowstone. We're on season 4. In fact, we're on the season finale tonight. Hopefully, we can get it in between kids' math tutoring and kids' basketball. And my last meeting at 9:30 tonight. Hopefully, we can fit it in between then. But the point is that as we're watching Yellowstone, and you see all the cowboys doing their cowboy stuff, my wife looks at me and says, "Is this what you did? This is how you grew up?" And I'm not saying I emulate Yellowstone by any means, but most of the cowboy stuff, yeah, that's what I did. That's how I grew up. That's what was my job, and herding cattle and riding horses and putting on saddles and doctoring cows in the field and lassoing. That was just what I grew up doing. I didn't know anything different. And I remember one time there was my grandfather was he kind of raised me because my dad left. Long that you don't even know that. Anyway, I don't even know why I said that. Sorry. But my grandfather was in front of this cattle chute, and this steer had these massive horns, and he's like, "You ready to brand it?" And I'm like, "I guess." And what that means is he hits the hammer on the cattle chute, the steer runs out, and you got to tackle him, and then somebody's got to brand him. And this, I was probably 16 years old, 17 years old, probably maybe a $150 wet. This steer is probably 200 pounds, pissed off and mad that he just got a whole bunch of doctoring. He just got his ear tagged. He just got penicillin shoved down his throat. He probably got some Ralgro in his ear as well. And he's mad. He's just not having it. And it's probably 100 degrees outside, and it's the middle of the summer in Colorado. And my grandfather hammers the chute open. This cow takes off, and I got to tackle it. Right, I gotta grab it, I gotta tackle it, I gotta take it to the ground so another cowboy can come brand it. And I'm sitting there, and I tackle it. I'm sore, I'm bruised, I'm bloody. The cow's beating me up, kicking me. I'm on top of it, and somebody's branding it. This guy named Delmas, by the way, is branding it. I got the front legs. This guy named Brian's got the back legs, and the smoke and the searing flesh and the hair burning is just wafting into my face. And I'm sitting there thinking, if I could just have a job when I grow up that just has air conditioning, and I could work inside and not tackle 200-pound cows that are mad at me, that would be the ultimate. That would be the best job I could ever have. I have that job. Like every job I've had since college has been that job. I haven't had to wrestle a steer since I was 18 years old. I haven't had to rope a cow since I was 18 years old. I haven't had to bust a bronc since I was 18 years old, and I don't miss it in the least. But watching Yellowstone sometimes brings back this nostalgic or PTSD level thinking, and I think about how I grew up, and I think about the world today and how my kids work at a pizza place. My other kid works at Starbucks. My other kid is in the Army. Like, I'm not saying those aren't hard jobs for what they're doing, but being a cattle rancher in the 80s and 90s and being a farmer was hard work. And I just this has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. It doesn't. I just relate to what they're going through and how I grew up, and not saying it's better, not saying that at all, not saying it's worse, not saying that at all. It's just different. And it's made me appreciate the opportunity that I've had and been given and earned. And I'm going to take full advantage of that, knowing full well that when I was a teenager, 16, 17, 18 years old working, I probably worked harder then than I do now in a different way. And so it brings me joy and entertainment that I can talk to you from an air conditioned, closed in office and enjoy what I do. And one of the things that I enjoy doing is talking about Zoom and what features it has, how it can make your life more efficient, how it can make your life more collaborative, how it can make your business grow, how it can make literally everyone in your organization more effective. And one of the things that I found with talking to customers, sometimes they have large meetings, and those large meetings have hundreds, if not thousands, of people coming into them, right? And one of the cool things that Zoom does, it allows you to control what happens when people enter your meeting. And why is that important? Say I have a gigantic meeting. Say there's maybe 500 to 1,000 people in this meeting. And every time somebody joins, their microphone's on. And every time somebody joins, they're talking to their wife, or they're talking to their kid, or they're talking to the dog. Stop talking. Is there an Amazon guy? There's a doorbell ringing. What if in a large meeting and where I'm presenting, and I'm most of the time presenting material that you need to consume, it's maybe not a collaborative meeting, it's more of a one-to-many. I want everyone to come in with their mute on. I just told you why I would want that. Because I don't want to tell Jimmy, hey, buddy, can you put it on mute? Hey, Susie in HR, can you put it on mute? What if I want everyone to come in with their mute on, so when I'm in the middle of presenting, I'm not hearing background noise, I'm not getting distracted, people in the meeting that are attending aren't getting distracted by other noises, other sounds. You just want everyone to have their mute on when they enter the meeting. And then when they want to obviously talk or collaborate from an audio perspective, they can turn it back on, but I want everybody to come in with the meeting off. How does Zoom do that? We can do that, by the way. I'm using Amy's account today. Amy's my test bed. I always use Amy whenever I do anything. And here's what's going to happen. Amy is going to have the ability to turn mute on. And here's Amy right now. And I don't have anybody in this meeting, obviously. There's just me and Amy. But right here, watch. Go to more right there. Look what happens. There's going to be a choice of ask all to unmute or literally mute all upon entry. So when I click mute all upon entry, it's going to give me this little window right here. What's going to say is, hey, everybody that's coming into the meeting upon entry, I'm going to mute them, which is great for me as a presenter. But I also want to allow participants to unmute themselves. Why that's important is when I hit continue here, now everyone, if you look, everyone is muted upon entry. So everyone that enters this meeting of 5, 6, 7, 800 people, their mute is automatically on. Should they want to have a question, should they want to collaborate audio-wise, they can then take themselves off of mute, ask me or anybody presenting a question. This allows the meeting to flow easier and faster. You might not want to have this when you're having 4, 5, 6, 8 people in your meeting. Might want to have mute off and everyone just come in. It's like, hey, Bob, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. And they can have this communication. But when you have 5, 6, 7, 800 people, you don't want that level of communication probably happening. You want more of a participant and presenter meeting. You want one to many. Zoom gives you the ability to turn that function on the fly, dynamically with every single meeting. That tells you the power of what we're thinking about when we're talking about workflow. Other competitors don't think about this. We do. Zoom does. So next time you have a large meeting and you want full participation, but also with the ability to mute everybody, turn that on from the participants window. and go enjoy Yellowstone. It's an amazing show.